Hello and welcome to another edition of the Plus One segment. And we didn't do it last week because Joey, he had the flu, but he's back with us via Zoom though. But Joey, what's going on?
I'm doing okay. We're back. We're ready to go. I had the flu, so if you saw my byline a little less last week, that's because I was a little under the weather, but we're back and feeling good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, the flu's been going around. A lot of people has caught the flu. It's actually happened to some players too. Some players have been missing time because of the flu too. Man, I guess it's that time of the year.
It's no fun. I hope all the student athletes and coaches and everybody stay safe and be careful for it.
Yeah, definitely. Joey, we only got, I think some teams have less than 5 games left in the regular season, and we got this week and then next week before some of the tournaments start, before the state tournament start. Man, it's almost over.
It's that time already. I'm sure you and me will be seeing each other at some unfamiliar gymnasiums, but we'll have some fun. And a lot of Lynn teams doing really well, clinching tournament spots. I know Tech girls, Lynn classical girls, everybody. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, I mean, let's start over there on Neptune Boulevard with the Tigers. They are on a roll right now. They are 7-7. I think they've won 5 or 6 straight. I think they've won 5 straight games. They've beaten some really good teams. They've gutted out some victories. Last night they picked up a win over Kip Academy, had a big lead. Then it was a little back and forth in the third quarter before they pulled it away. Man, they're rolling right now.
They're rolling indeed, and you talk to Coach Corey Bingham, and it's like a bingo card. He talks about defense, he talks about passion and physicality, and Lynn Tech basketball. That's exactly what they did Tuesday night against Kip Academy, despite a 25-point performance from Trotsky Pena, who's fantastic on the Panthers, Giovanni Jean, and the rest of the Tech squad came through and they performed well. They didn't have a great third quarter, but the good start and the good finish was enough to seal the deal.
Yeah, Brandon Antoine Jr., he's been making some big shots the last couple games. He made a big shot on the road against Shawsheen Tech, which was a big victory for them. I think he had three or four. I think he had 3 triples in the fourth quarter that really put the Tigers over the top. So everybody, they're still upset about some of the games they gave away early on because of the lack of execution late in the games. But these last stretch of games, they've flipped the switch and are now executing down the stretch when they need to.
And it says so much about a team and a program when you start 2-7. It's easy to fold after that, right? But the fact that they've equalized, they're back at 7-7, really says a lot about Coach Bingham, the program, some of the lead players, and the depth, of course. So really excited to see what's going on with both the Tech boys and girls, yeah.
Yeah, and got to give shout out to their bigs too. Ms. Diaz, he's actually stepped up in a big way on the glass. He's been a rebounding machine for them. He's been a force, still getting acclimated. Only a sophomore, understanding the varsity game, but he's been very key for them in this stretch. Another team that is real rolling, the Lynn Classical boys, 10 in a row for them. They're gonna. Not sure if the game tomorrow will be happening because of the weather, but they are rolling right now. They got another victory over Somerville. And just off the top of I haven't asked you this, but who would be your MVP for the city right now? Because for right now, I think it's clear-cut favorite. Roki Brea Arias is probably the MVP of the city right now.
My goodness, that's a great take, and I wouldn't disagree with it. There's so many to think of. Maybe an all-star team would be better suited for this city, but a lot of 1,000-point scorers, a lot of MVPs. So it's so impressive what happens throughout these 5 schools and 10 programs. So just I think it says a lot about the coaching, the culture in the city, and I know we love covering it.
All right. Classical, 13-3. These guys have figured they've they figured it out. They have a balance. The guards coming into the season. That was my key factor for the Rams and their success was how would the guards play, and the guards have stepped it up in this winning streak. They're making shots. They're creating for the bigs. They're playing defense as well. I mean, Roki and Shai are definitely holding their own, and they're the go-to guys for the team as far as inside presence and on both sides of the ball. But those guards with Deshaun Rucker, DJ Reynolds, and Cam Rucker, those guards have really, really stepped it up, and they're really making an impact. And all three of them could be considered for league all-stars this season.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about defense with Coach Bingham, you're going to talk about it with Coach Avery, too. That's what the Rams pride themselves on. Defense, offense, fat break points, transitions. So I just think classical, it's definitely found a rhythm, and you hope they don't peak too early. I don't really believe in that, so I don't think they are, but hoping they can keep that momentum into the state tournament and advance a couple rounds. I know last year, I believe they lost to Foxborough on the road early. So hopefully they can get a win or two or three and see how far they can go.
Yeah, it's looking like they'll have a home game the way the rankings are going. Because I think the last time I saw the rankings, they were like in 16 or something like that. So they're in a good position. They are in a good position. St. Mary's boys got another victory over Bishop Fenwick last night. J.J. Martinez is closing in on 1,000 points. Right now, as I told you before weeks ago, I don't see anybody on that schedule for them that's going to give them a chance. So I don't see them losing any of these games remaining on their schedule just because of the team they have.
I agree, and they've got it cooking too, from JJ to Jake to DeVell. They've definitely got it going. The depth is there too. And how impressive is it that they're number one and the girls from St. Mary's are number one? Just that is very impressive. It says a lot about what they're doing over at St. Mary's, and I'd be shocked if both don't make deep runs. I think they're both well coached and have the right culture, as I seem to say every week. So I like St. Mary's. I like its schedule, and looking forward to seeing J.J. Martinez reach the 1,000-point threshold for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if he played last night or not. I don't know if they're saving it for him to do it at home because I didn't see him I didn't see any of his stats on the box score last night. So I'm not sure if they're saving it for the Spartan Classic because I think that might be their next home game in the couple, which starts next weekend, I believe. So I'm not sure. It'll be good for him to, if he does do it, he gets it at home. But that will draw a crowd for sure. Like you said, on the girls' side, they picked up a win over Fenwick as well, playing really well. They've beaten a lot of the top teams. They've played a lot of the top teams. These girls are trying to erase the memory of last year's semifinals loss.
Yeah, top ranking crown, and this Friday against Bishop Fee, and that's the game of the night. I'm sure we won't be the only news organizations there at the Tony C. Gymnasium. I'm very excited for that one. And that's one of the Spartans' only 2 losses was to Bishop Fee, and that one was in Attleboro, but it was a close game. I think it was 1 or 2 possession game late, and I just think the Shamrocks really know how to play, and they're the defending champs for a reason, and really excited for that game. That's definitely the game of the night.
Yeah, that's going to be a packed house, man. There's a lot of good games this Friday, actually. So, man, I'm only one person, so I can't be at them all.
I mean, fingers crossed with the snow, but feeling good.
Hey, man, I hope they cancel it and move it to a day I could go. Move it to Saturday or something. Lynn Costco girls, they've also... I think they're in first place. They're in first place of the Greater Boston League. They also got it rolling. They suffered a loss. I think was it Revere they lost to last week?
They lost to Triton last night.
They lost to Triton. Okay, and then before that was it a loss to Revere or someone else? I forget.
That's blinking, and I don't want to say it if it's not.
Okay, well, we'll double check that for the audience. But yeah, you said they dropped on the Triton last night. But besides that, that's another team. They've been playing really well throughout this season. Sophomore Devine, and the leadership of Keisha Perez on there. So I think they'll probably bounce back. They'll bounce back after the last night's loss. But this team is really, they really have had a well-balanced attack for the most of the season.
Well balanced indeed, because if one girl doesn't beat you, the other 2 or 3 will. They've got Savannah Tang, she's a sharpshooter. Keisha, like you said, a great leader and a great scorer. And Divine, Nevaeh, they all contribute. And Coach Tom Sawyer puts them in a position to win. And it seems like the Lady Rams keep coming back in the second half, which says so much about their team. Hoping they can get a state tournament win or 2. And I just think whenever I talk to Coach Sawyer after games, he says, we just execute better, and it says a lot about the girls that they can do that late after maybe not a great first half or something like that. So, really enjoy what Classical's doing right now, boys and girls.
Yeah, it's a good thing happening over there. And then the Lynn English boys, man, dropped another one this past Friday to Newton South. All right, basketball is just sports in general is a game of small margins. So little things is the difference in winning and losing. So it was a 3-point game with about a minute or 2 minutes remaining. It was a 3-point game. Newton South scores. English defenders felt like an offensive foul should have been called. They get upset. They get a technical. Now they get 3 free throws. You get the one for the and one, and then you get 2 free throws from the tech. It turns a 3-point game into a 5-point game. That turns a 3-point game into an 8-point game, and then you end up losing by 8. And it's just little mistakes like that cost you.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that English breakdown to you. I kind of make that one, but, I think what might be considered a down year, they still win some of the games that they should, and, I know Denzel dropped 43 last week, which was really impressive, right? So, hoping they can turn around and pick up a few late season wins for sure.
Well, I think they got 4 games remaining. 4 or 5 game remainings. They got one tomorrow in Cambridge, if that is still going to go on, weather permitting, not sure yet. And then they're on the road to Brockton, and then they got Central Catholic. They're on the road to Central Catholic. So they're on the road for a while before they head up to Woburn for the tournament, the IBD tournament, annual tournament. So, yeah, they gotta string together some wins, or they gotta find a way to win these games against these teams. It'll definitely help them confidence-wise and definitely help them ranking-wise, because some of the games that they've lost to in these non-conference games, they've had chances to win. But there's still some basketball to be played, so they can still redeem themselves and get themselves in a good position, because they're at 8-7 right now, so they need to close out these last couple games with some wins.
Yeah, I think it's very doable. We'll see what they can do. We'll talk next week, and hopefully we have a few more games to talk about with the weather here, but I think they'll be fine. As a program, they're obviously fine. I think the culture's there, so yeah, Bulldogs, Lady Bulldogs, they've had their ups and downs, both looking for late season pushes and late season streak here.
Right. Lady Bulldogs, they picked up a win over Salem on Monday. They got 9 wins. They need one more, clinch a state tournament bid. Jaliana Concepcion had a big game, scoring 21 points. Some of the Bulldogs players were out. Some were out due to injuries, so they had some of the younger players, but the freshmen really stepped up. Coach Brennan, year 2, got them close to the playoffs, and if they're able to clinch a postseason berth in her second year, that's going to be big for the program moving forward, especially some of the young talent that they got.
So impressive, and it says a lot. Kind of similar to the Tech boys, the English girls, kind of a tough start, opponents, mismatches, stuff like that on the road. But then to turn it around, it says so much about the depth and the culture that it's hard not to take your hat off to English and what second-year coach Sydney is doing. And I think just the foundation that you try to set in year 1 comes to fruition in year 2. And I think that was expected but really hard to execute nonetheless. So happy for them and hoping they can finish out strong.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like majority of the teams are going to be in the state tournament this year. You know, some still got some chances to win games to clinch their spots, but we might have another year where everyone's in the state tournament. So the competitiveness is really good. So hopefully we see everybody in it. New articles out.
New articles out. Mark and I going to games and player of the week, team of the week. We got power rankings. A couple features. Student athletes are committing to colleges, divisions 1, 2, 3. I've got a swimming and diving feature coming out. Should be Monday's paper. So itemlive.com and the Item newspaper.
Yeah, make sure y'all check that out, man. Well, I don't think I'll be at the games this week, this Friday. If you guys are at the St. Mary's Bishop Feeheen game, I don't think I'll be there. I gotta. No, I gotta go see another 1,000-point score on Friday. So try to that'll make it like 6 this season in person. I see. So yeah. We'll see.
Impressive.
But I mean, I'll be at the Spartan Classic at one of the days of the Spartan Classic. So I'm sure.
Yeah.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen. That's Joey from the Item. We signing out. Have a good one.